We are talking justice with tonight's Newsmaker on the eve of the McNeil government bringing restorative justice to the adult court system in this province. Diana Whalen is the Minister of Justice for Nova Scotia. Ms. Whalen, why are you doing this?
Well, restorative justice has been proven to be very effective. We've had over almost 20 years of it in the youth section, and we've seen the benefit it has to community and to people who are involved in either as a victim or as an offender. It's really helped, I think, in the healing process, and we believe in it.
So it's moving to adult courts here, at least in some cases. What kinds of cases would it be used in this province?
Well, there will be a specific list of them, and remember, for restorative justice to work to begin with, the person who is accused of the crime has to admit to it and sit down and want to make amends, if you like, or to actually speak to the person who's been harmed or the community and try and work it out. So it's not for everybody, it's for the people who are not, that are admitting their guilt.
You mentioned that it's been involved in some youth cases in this province. How would you measure the success of it? How is it that you can say it's been successful?
Well, the people who work in our restorative justice societies right across the province can give all kinds of examples of individuals whose lives have not been marred by a criminal record because they've been able to sit down and really find other ways to admit what they've done was wrong and make amends. And it has helped immeasurably. We don't want to have young people in particular have their lives ruined because of one impulsive act or one mistake that they've made. So this has offered an option to those people who can find another way to make amends and really to help both the victim and themselves heal and move forward. We've had, as I said, 20 years experience with it now. Our youth facility in Waterville has considerably fewer offenders that are in custody as a result of it, and I think that that's a mark of our success as well.
What would you say to people who are perhaps a little critical of restorative justice? For some reason, for some people, it has a reputation as a way that the accused can get off or get off lightly. What would you say to people who still harbor that kind of thinking?
Well, I've had the opportunity to talk to people who actually have been doing this work for the last 20 years, and that includes lawyers and RJ professionals that work in the societies, social workers, probation officers, and more. And they say it's a very emotional, very difficult process to go through. So I don't believe it's getting off lightly. I believe it's harder to sit down and face the person or the people that you have harmed and try and make amends. People tell me that if you go to court, an offender may never speak. They can sit silently and have a lawyer speak on their behalf, and they're not as actively engaged, and they really don't take responsibility to the same extent as somebody who's sitting down in a restorative justice circle.
So do you have any sense of what kind of impact going to restorative justice in the adult court system could mean on other parts of the system? I'm thinking jails, you alluded to the case in the youth there, whether it's actually more or less costly.
Well, I actually think it is cost effective, but that's not the reason we're doing it. We're doing it because we think it's a much better way to deal with crime. And with certain crimes, I mean, it has, as you mentioned, it can't be for every crime, but in some cases, it's a much better way to divert people from the court system, which is very costly, where you need lawyers and public prosecutors and court time, and divert them to a community process where they are accountable, where they're held accountable, where our probation and correctional officers are part of the process, but also where there are professionals who understand restorative justice and can bring the right people together to look for solutions, look for ways for that person to make amends.
Ms. Whalen, it all begins tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much.